What if tomorrow, all the volcanoes on Earth suddenly erupted? What would happen to our planet? And to us? Imagine a symphony of destruction, a global orchestra of fire and fury, as molten rock bursts from the Earth's crust. From the fiery depths of the Pacific Ring of Fire to the slumbering giants beneath our feet, a simultaneous eruption of this magnitude would be an event unlike any other in human history. Across our planet, some 1,500 volcanoes exist in a state of uneasy slumber, remnants of Earth's fiery birth. These volcanoes, scattered across continents and islands, are silent sentinels of a time when our planet was a molten, chaotic sphere. They stand as a testament to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of Earth's geology. These geological giants are not randomly scattered but rather congregate along the edges of tectonic plates, those massive moving slabs that make up our planet's crust. The movement of these plates is responsible for the formation of mountains, earthquakes, and of course, volcanoes. The boundaries where these plates meet are zones of intense geological activity, where the Earth's internal heat and pressure find their way to the surface. The Pacific Ocean alone, home to the infamous Ring of Fire, boasts a staggering 452 volcanoes, a fiery necklace of potential destruction. This region is a hotbed of volcanic and seismic activity, where the Pacific Plate meets several surrounding plates. The Ring of Fire is not just a geological feature, but a reminder of the raw power and unpredictability of our planet. From the towering peaks of the Andes to the volcanic islands of Japan, the Ring of Fire shapes the lives and landscapes of millions. But even these behemoths are dwarfed in number by the countless smaller vents and fissures that dot the ocean floor, hidden beneath miles of water. These submarine volcanoes, though less visible, play a crucial role in the Earth's geological processes. They contribute to the formation of new oceanic crust and influence the chemistry of the oceans. The deep-sea environment, with its extreme conditions, hosts unique ecosystems that thrive around these volcanic vents, relying on the heat and minerals they provide. If these submarine volcanoes were to erupt alongside their terrestrial brethren, the very oceans would seem to boil. The combined force of underwater and surface eruptions would release immense amounts of energy, reshaping coastlines and altering weather patterns. Such events, though rare, remind us of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. The land, sea, and atmosphere are all part of a complex web of interactions driven by the planet's internal heat. Understanding these processes helps us appreciate the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. The initial eruptions would be heralded by a symphony of seismic activity. The seismographs, our early warning systems, would light up with frantic energy, capturing the intense vibrations that signaled the beginning of a monumental event. These instruments, designed to detect the slightest tremors, would now be overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the seismic waves. The very ground beneath our feet would shudder and groan as magma, molten rock from deep within the Earth, surged upwards through volcanic vents. This molten rock, heated to unimaginable temperatures, would force its way through the Earth's crust, creating fissures and cracks. The sight of molten lava emerging from these cracks would be both mesmerizing and terrifying, a vivid reminder of the raw power of nature. The Earth's crust, already weakened along fault lines, would buckle and break under the immense pressure, unleashing a wave of devastating earthquakes across the globe. These fault lines, the boundaries between tectonic plates, would become the epicenters of destruction. As the plates shifted and collided, the ground would heave and split, causing buildings to collapse and landscapes to be forever altered. The animation of tectonic plates shifting would illustrate the immense forces at play, forces that have shaped our planet for millions of years. Coastal cities lying vulnerable at the edge of continents would be the first to fall, swallowed by tsunamis triggered by the seismic upheaval. These towering waves, generated by the sudden displacement of water, would race towards the shore with incredible speed. The aerial view of a tsunami approaching a city would capture the sheer scale of the disaster, as walls of water engulfed entire neighborhoods. People would scramble to evacuate, but many would be caught in the deluge, their homes and lives swept away in an instant, Millions would perish in these first terrifying hours of the catastrophe. The scenes of panic and chaos would be heart-wrenching as people ran for their lives, desperate to find safety. The aftermath would be a landscape of destruction, with buildings reduced to rubble and communities torn apart. Emergency services would work tirelessly to rescue those trapped in the debris, but the scale of the disaster would be overwhelming. The human cost of these first tremors would be unimaginable, a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence in the face of nature's fury. Chapter 3. A Blanket of Darkness. As the initial shockwaves subside, a new threat would emerge from the depths: volcanic ash. Billowing clouds of ash, propelled upwards by the force of the eruptions, would rise high into the atmosphere, blotting out the sun. This ash, a fine-grained mixture of pulverized rock and glass, would spread across the globe, carried by prevailing winds. The once familiar blue sky would transform into an eerie twilight gloom, the air thick with the smell of sulfur. Daylight would become a distant memory as a volcanic winter descended upon the planet. Chapter 4. A World Transformed. The long-term consequences of such a cataclysmic event are almost unimaginable. Picture a world where the very fabric of life is torn apart by the sheer force of nature. Massive volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and tsunamis would reshape the landscape in an instant, leaving behind a trail of destruction that would take centuries to recover from. With the sun's life-giving rays obscured, global temperatures would plummet, sending the planet into a volcanic winter. The skies would darken with ash and soot, blocking out sunlight and plunging the world into a prolonged period of cold and darkness. This drastic change in climate would have far-reaching effects on every aspect of life on Earth. Crops would fail, leading to widespread famine. The agricultural systems that sustain human civilization would collapse under the weight of this new reality. Fields that once teemed with life would become barren wastelands, unable to support the growth of essential food crops. This would trigger a chain reaction of food shortages, hunger, and malnutrition on a global scale. The delicate balance of ecosystems would be thrown into disarray, with countless species facing extinction. The intricate web of life that connects all living organisms would unravel, leading to the loss of biodiversity and the collapse of ecosystems. Animals that rely on specific habitats and food sources would struggle to survive in this new, harsh environment. Acid rain, formed by the reaction of volcanic gases with atmospheric moisture, would poison water supplies and strip forests bare. The toxic rain would seep into rivers, lakes, and groundwater, contaminating the very sources of fresh water that humans and animals depend on. Forests, already weakened by the lack of sunlight, would suffer further damage as the acidic precipitation erodes their leaves and bark. The very air we breathe would become hazardous, choked with fine particles of ash. Breathing in this polluted air would pose serious health risks, leading to respiratory problems and other illnesses. People would be forced to wear masks and take other precautions to protect themselves from the harmful effects of the ash-laden atmosphere. Civilization as we know it would crumble, leaving behind a desolate alien landscape. The economic and social structures that underpin modern society would be unable to withstand the pressures of such a catastrophic event. Cities would be abandoned, economies would collapse, and the world would be left to pick up the pieces in the aftermath of this unprecedented disaster. The once familiar landscapes would be transformed into something unrecognizable, a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human civilization. Outgrow a fragile existence. The simultaneous eruption of all volcanoes on Earth is a terrifying hypothetical, a stark reminder of the immense power that lies dormant beneath our feet. While such an event is statistically improbable, it underscores the delicate balance upon which our existence rests. Volcanic activity reminds us how fragile our world is. Would we be ready for such a challenge? Perhaps by understanding the forces that shape our planet, we can better prepare for the unexpected and safeguard the future of our species.